Welcome back, North Metro TV. This is Local Decision 2022. I'm Eric Nelson. Thanks for tuning us in. And now we're going to chat with April Moran, who's running for City Council, Spring Lake Park. April, we appreciate you stopping by. And I know it wasn't an easy drive because you had to navigate your way up Minnesota State 65, which is gridlock this time of day.
It is. It is. It's how, you know what, you just plan ahead and you know. It's a part of our lives, Highway 65.
Yeah, it is, and with most of these interviews, that topic has come up. 65 in Spring Lake Park, what needs to be done?
You know what, I think there are things that could be done. However, that's not my specialty, and I wouldn't even presume to tell planning and zoning how to do their job. I would definitely rely on them. As far, we all know what it's like, right? And we allot that time for it.
Yeah.
I'm open to all suggestions, and something's got to work, right? So.
Yeah, the hassle factor is huge for most people.
Yes.
All right, well, tell us about April Moran and why should you be elected to City Council, Spring Lake Park?
Yeah, I'm a little bit late to the political game. I just recently graduated from Augsburg University. I am a master's student with social work. And that's really kind of what sparked that interest and passion for the political area. There's so much that we can do with our voting rights, and then I thought, why not take it a step further? I had been an election judge before because I just loved the process. I think it's fantastic, and I think it's a huge badge of honor that we are able to vote and choose who we want to represent us. And I thought, why not me? What's stopping me from also participating? So I threw my hat in the ring once I graduated with my master's. I figured I finally have some time, and here I am. And that is why I chose to do it. I think coming from the perspective of a social work, it gives me a different opportunity to see things a little bit different than other folks, right? Just like the community-based practice and just how some structures that are built into our fabric of society kind of hinder some folks, and I hope to bring that to Spring Lake Park.
Once upon a time, being a political newbie might work against you.
Yes.
But now I feel like that phrase career politician isn't necessarily a good thing. So do you feel like your fresh approach and your first time through all of this is going to work in your favor?
I think so. I think something I've said several times is I have fresh ideas to the same old problems. And I think that is really going to be a benefit because I'm not hindered by the way things used to be. I don't know the way that things used to be. I'm going to come in and say, why not try that? And I think that is a huge benefit.
Tell us about Spring Lake Park and some of the issues you believe that the city needs to tackle. I know schools is high on your list, isn't it?
Schools are high on my list. I think our youth, as cliche as it sounds, are our future, and I really want to build that future for all of our youth. One of my big things that I've noticed, I also have a daughter, she's 18, and we raised her here in Spring Lake Park, my wife and I. The parks, we have fantastic parks. Our green spaces are great. How can we make it better? Make them more accessible for all bodies. Wood chips maybe aren't great for walkers or wheelchairs. How about we switch it to rubber mats? So anyone who wants to use our playgrounds has that ability. Along with, I think something super interesting, I'm a bit younger into the political arena in Spring Lake Park. What about an internship for our high school students and bring them into the fold and get them even at 13, 14 and get them really excited about the process? I think these are some things that would be great for our youth and great for Spring Lake Park.
And certainly Spring Lake Park has got a lot of different demographics.
Yes.
How do you bring people together and get them on the same page as opposed to division and polarization?
Absolutely. That's exactly it. We can all agree that our youth need our support. And I think certain youth need extra support because it's shown, right? If you are a BIPOC individual, you are set back. So how can we bring that forward? What can we do? I don't have the answers by any means, but I'm definitely willing to try.
And you're in favor of more outreach programs?
Absolutely.
Such as winter jacket, coat drives,
Yep.
community food boxes, blood drives, cleanup crews, etc.
Whatever.
And that's investing in the community in your eyes, isn't it?
Absolutely. You may have seen my signs out and about. Vote for community. I think alone we can do just fine. As a community, we can do great. I can look out for my neighbors, not just next to me, but on the street over. And I can help and I can reach out. And I know there has been a little bit of a hot topic that we have some unhomed individuals in our area. Why not support them? Why not have those food boxes with non-perishable items? And it's not just for our unhomed individuals. What about elderly or maybe people who are a single parent who are struggling a little bit and they may not want to go to a food shelf? There's another option. We can support all of our individuals because we are a small space. And that's a luxury. That's a great thing that we have this small, beautiful space that we can build our people better.
Yeah, really, when you look at the Twin Cities Metro, Spring Lake Park is a dot on the map.
A dot on the map.
A pebble in the ocean. But you are here, right, smack dab in the middle of the Metro. Can you bring things that you learned growing up in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, up there, in the Great North,
Yeah, the Great North.
and incorporate that into Spring Lake Park to give it that small town feel in this sprawling Metro?
I think so. I think just that vote for community is that small town feel. I know growing up in Grand Rapids, it was all about your neighbors and helping them out no matter how far apart they were. And I think that's something my grandparents instilled in me. My grandparents still to this day do whatever they can to help out a neighbor even if they don't know them. And I think that's something Spring Lake Park has a great option for.
Growth, redevelopment. Where do you land on those topics?
Yeah, growth and redevelopment, that's a tough one because I definitely want more into Spring Lake Park, but I want more small shops. Let's get more little pop-up shops available, more diversity in that way. We don't need another giant warehouse. We don't need a giant Target someplace. We have those in any direction you go here. Let's get some pop-up shops. Let's get some fun, unique little shops. We have great locations where you can just walk outside and go in all these little shops. I think that's what we need.
And that's part of your mantra of supporting small businesses.
Small business, community. If I care, then that care translates out.
Yeah.
And if we all care, just think how amazing Spring Lake Park would be. And maybe it would even ripple further out. Who knows?
So is the goal to have a good blend? Small businesses, you've got Hy-Vee, and they're certainly a major player, just to have that proper balance of mix and match?
Absolutely. I think Hy-Vee is fantastic for Spring Lake Park. Tons of jobs. I know I shop there. I love it. But I think we also need some smaller shops. And there's a few that popped up that I visited, and they're fantastic. Let's do some more.
So what would be your top 2 or 3 bullet point goals if you get elected to Spring Lake Park City Council? What do you want to accomplish out of the gate?
Out of the gate is definitely that accessibility part. I think if we don't do for all, then we're failing all. So I think accessibility for the green spaces would probably be my #1 priority, and let that translate into whatever that might be. Where else, because I don't know where all the accessibility issues are, I would rely on others to help me. But I think that would be my top goal. After that, I would definitely look into outreach for the community. What other programs, what other needs aren't being filled for our community, and start there.
Is it one of those a rising tide lifts all boats approach that you have? In other words, you have to help out those
Absolutely.
at the bottom so you can prop them up and make the community better.
Absolutely. I think that hits the nail on the head. And even more so, I think it's our duty. If I personally am doing well, then I should help someone else. I just don't think our world can work without reaching out a hand to someone else.
All right, so if you're on the city council, but you want to promote schools and you're not on the school board, how does that all work?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's a great question. I think I'm going to need to develop some great collaborations with the school. And I know there's fantastic people who work at the Spring Lake Park School District who I'm sure would be right on board with me. And I think that's what it's going to be, collaboration and partnerships, and moving forward with like-minded folks who also want to build up these community programs.
So you put up the campaign signs, you knock on the doors,
Yeah.
you come on this show on North Metro TV. What have you learned in this process?
I've learned that not everyone wants to talk to you all the time. I've learned that. I've learned that it's a lot more difficult than I thought. I thought I could just go out and say, I have these great ideas, follow. And it's not that. It's a lot of selling who you are as a person and convincing that these ideas won't just benefit one person, it would benefit all the community.
So you have to sell yourself,
Yes.
but how critical is it for you to listen?
I can't do my job without listening. I can't do any job without listening. And I think that's a great value we were instilled in social work school. I can't do anything in a vacuum. I need outside resources. I need outside ideas because I will not even presume to say that I know what's best. I don't. I need to meet people where they're at, meet the community where it's at, and go from there. And I can't do that without other people. I would rely heavily on a team, which is already in place at Spring Lake Park. We have great zoning and commission folks. We have great people on the Spring Lake Park City Council Board. And I think we all could do it together.
How do you make Spring Lake Park a destination city, not a drive-by place where you just see it on the freeway and you see the city limits sign and you keep going?
Right. I think that goes back to those little pop-up shops. Give people a reason to stop here because they can't find it anywhere else. Maybe a new restaurant that isn't somewhere else, let's bring that here. And give people something they can't get somewhere else. That community feeling, that safe feeling in, 20 minutes from downtown? Like, that's a luxury. And we can be that.
Yeah, and that proximity to Minneapolis, would you consider that a pro or a con?
I think it's a pro. I think it's a huge pro because we have an opportunity for a large amount of diversity that only benefits us. And look at that drive, right? I can work downtown but still have the luxury of having a giant backyard. That's a huge pro.
Do you think the city embraces diversity, the demographic changes that Spring Lake Park has seen in the last few decades?
I think there's the potential for it. I think we have a ways to go. But I think that's the beauty in it. I think we all have opportunity for growth and learning. And I think everyone's capable of growth and learning. And that's, I think, where we're at. I think there might be a little hesitation, but I think given the chance, everyone's inherently good and they're going to raise to the occasion.
All right, so we're closing in on Election Day. Anything you want to expound on, let the viewers know about?
I think I need to be upfront and honest that I am starting from a space that I don't have a lot of knowledge in. And I want to take on other people as my team members. I am not doing this alone. And at no point in time am I going to stand there and say that I'm the sole, answer. I want a large team around me, and I want to do what's best for Spring Lake Park because I live in Spring Lake Park, because I'm a community member myself. I've raised my family here, and I want to be seen here and feel safe here. I myself am married to a woman, and my daughter is Black. I need to know that this community is safe for us and everyone else.
Did you have an epiphany? Was there a moment where the lightning bolt hit you out of the sky and you said, I need to do this? I mean, you have a unique background,
Yes.
a unique situation. What made you do this?
What made me do this? I mean, I think a lot of us were called during the previous election. I think it woke a lot of people up saying, this doesn't feel right, something doesn't feel right. And I didn't think my vote was going to be enough, because I've always been an advocate. You have to vote for what you believe in. And I felt that, I think now's the time that maybe I might be able to have a loud enough voice to make a difference. If just for my daughter, to make sure she's good, for my family, so we feel seen, I felt like it was time.
Do you feel like a lesbian from a mixed race background with your family can be treated fairly in an election in suburban Minneapolis?
That's a wonderful question. I'm gonna say the optimist in me says yes. Yes, I feel like 100%. And I think there's gonna be people out there who might identify with that and say, hey, that's the change we need. But then I know that there's going to be people who will disagree with it, and that's okay. I'm not here to change anyone's mind on those matters. I'm just asking people to see that I want what's best for the youth in Spring Lake Park and our community to be safe for all, and whatever that might look like for someone.
All right, April, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
All right, very good. She's April Moran, running for City Council in Spring Lake Park. This is Local Decision 2022.